Everyone, welcome back to the channel, and all the other obligatory shit that I would probably forget to say. Today we're going over the abomination on the table, why it exists, what its purpose is, and why it actually is a viable option. So first of all, I'm going to start from the top to the bottom, go over what the components are, and why this thing is actually pretty fucking handy. So there are a lot of surplus components within this setup, and you guys get to decide whether it is a modern 723 or a retro URGI. Throw it in the comment section, because I am curious to see what your thoughts are on it, rather than it's an abomination, because it is indeed that. So we'll start out with it's a 14.5 inch surplus Colt barrel with a Colt bolt carrier group. Have a 13.5 inch Geisley MK14, Midwest Industries front sight post, basic bitch A2 flash hider if I didn't say that already, Surefire Scout with a BCM mount. Moving on back, we have a surplus Colt A1 upper and a precision reflex gas buster charging handle, TAC 15 thoroughbred armament lower, and a basic bitch mil-spec receiver extension with a Magpul BTR stock. I have a Magpul angle foregrip here and a Geisley gas block. BCM gunfighter grip and a little bit of goon tape on there for some grippiness. Now, the question is why would this configuration exist? And it wasn't an original thought or design on my part. Guy I follow on Instagram, Tactical Bros, does a lot of really cool things with fixed carry handle uppers, kind of making them modern. And I had a lot of components left over from several other projects and decided that this is how these components were going to end up going together. Now, the point here was to be able to not have to move my head or my shoulders rolled in and out while actually getting a good sight picture. I don't really like the modern rifles. It's not that I don't find them usable. I do. I just, aesthetically, I go back and forth between I've got to have an MK18 or, I've got to have a URGI to then disassembling, selling components and parts and all that, and end up with a lot of money, which is where all these components came from. The barrel, the handguard, the bolt carrier group, the light, all that shit was originally on a Colt URGI. And as you can tell, it is no longer. So Thoroughbred Armament had gifted me the lower, and I wanted to go ahead and give you a close-up of the lower. He does some really clean, just the lowers are clean. So he had gifted me the lower. I was originally going to use it on my 416 project. Decided to go a different route, so I really wanted to use the lower on, one, make something that was lightweight. Two, something that I was actually going to use, and not just clone, another rifle that already have like a complete of like a Colt 723 or 727. And so I started going through the parts bin, and the handguard was on the chopping block to sell. The barrel was back in its original configuration with the A2 front sight post on it, and the upper was just laying there, or the A1 upper was just laying there. So I went ahead and removed the barrel from the M4, the A3 style upper, and just kind of went to work at throwing it together. The end product is, as you can see, kind of an abomination, but is also highly usable. Now, I was extremely shocked at how much fun this thing is to shoot. So it is going to be one hell of a fun suppressor host, which was one of the key components or considerations that I wanted when putting it together. Like I said, I wanted to build something or configure something that I was actually going to shoot, not just another 723 or 727 or, a modern style rifle. I wanted to use, the lower from, my friends at Thoroughbred for something that was actually unique. And so this is what I came up with. After putting, several rounds through it, I highly enjoy it. It is a lot of fun to shoot. It is extremely lightweight, probably weighing in unloaded at 6.5 pounds. Now, I didn't go over the optic and the mount. The optic mount is from KE Arms, and it'll fit any type of Trijicon T1, T2 type optic. I have a hollow sun on it because I really like the green dots right now. They work better with my vision and neurological shit. So, one of the main considerations again with this is light. So I wanted to keep it light, maneuverable, which is where the pistol brace comes in because I live in a tri-state area. And there's no compact or reciprocity with SBRs. If I SBR something in Ohio, I can't just pop over to Kentucky or West Virginia, so therefore keeping a pistol brace on this is kind of crucial to me, keeping it as a pistol. I have multiple, SBRs, and it is kind of a pain in the ass to have to contact someone every time you want to go over to a different range. That being said, I can keep this configuration in my truck. It's light, it's maneuverable. With some of the other accessories back here that I keep in the truck, I can, stop over at the range and have enough ammo, on me to go ahead and get a little bit of practice in without having to run back to the house. So that is why the Abomination exists, and over the last 2 weeks, it has ended up being probably one of my favorite ARs that I've came into contact with over the last 2 years. And that really has to do with the maneuverability. I have multiple, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see like 98% of my rifles are carry handle style, whether they're rifle length or, carbine length, M4 profile, pencil barrel, dissipator. But the extended rails on them are typically very heavy. If you try to do something like the Criterion or Daniel Defense or the Midwest, quad rails that have the cutout for the front sight block that extend, it ends up making the rifle very heavy. In this configuration, I get to keep my fixed carry handle, basically a primarily fixed iron sight if I decide to keep it that way, and I always have the ability to use the irons, but I have perfect height with the optic without having to adjust anything. So it's a very quick, transition. And it's just fun. That's one of the other primary factors when I was wanting to use this lower, is to make something that is fun. Now, with it being an AR platform, this lower doesn't have to be dedicated to this upper. However, that was kind of my intent when Thoroughbred's like, hey man, I'm just gonna, I bought a lot of stuff off of Thoroughbred over the years. And he was like, I was talking to him about buying one. He's like, look man, just, pop over to your local shop and pick one up. Like, I'll just drop one off. So this is what I ended up building with it. And I can't remember the name of the company, and you guys can maybe throw it in the comment section. My friend over at Galil Hub went ahead and he bought a suppressor very similar to the old Gordy carbine, Black Hawk Down, if you're unfamiliar. And Black Hawk Down, the suppressors that they're running on the 723, 727s connects directly to the A2 flash hider. And there's a company that is reproducing those currently. It's a modern style, but it does connect directly onto the A2. So it is very much a throwback to the Gordy carbine. So I'm looking forward to grabbing one of those. And that's going to be the first, this is going to be a host for that, along with multiple other carry handle style rifles that I have, because I may have a problem there. Anyway, thank you for watching. That is the rundown of the rifle. Now real quick, with gear in the background, this is probably, one of my favorite holsters that I've picked up for a while. It is an A&R Designs, meant for a Glock 19, but of course it will accommodate other size Glocks. My buddy had made this for me years ago. It is a Kydex, what he deemed at the time a 4x4. And so I've got 2 additional Glock mags there, 2 P-mags, and this is my mag purse. You have a connection back here to connect it to your belt if you need to move, so it doesn't move. I've got 2 33 round Glock mags and 2 Glock 17 mags and 4 standard capacity, AR platform mags as well. So that way, between this and the belt, keeping the stuff like stowed away in the truck, and my truck's actually right behind the camera, which is why I keep motioning that direction. I can pop into the range, put some rounds on target without having to worry about going back to the house. So That's it. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section again if this is considered a retro URGI, just an abomination, or a modern 723. I'm interested to see your guys' thoughts.